I'm so glad that I could come into this match reaction laughing and smiling because, yeah, I wasn't laughing and smiling when it was 2-2. Manchester United 2-0 up against Newport, cruising. Garnacho hitting the bar, should have probably passed it across the box, made it 3-0. United didn't kill the game. Newport got a worldie. Newport got an equaliser. But United ultimately saw the game off. 4-2 winners, deserved winners, but we made hard work of that. We really made hard work of that. That should not have been anywhere near as difficult. And I'll be honest, this is something that happened under Erik ten Hag last season quite a few times too. We never got the third goal. That third goal is the goal that kills games. When you're 2-0 down, you can always get one back, and then everyone's like, we're only one goal away. When you get that third goal, you really do kill enthusiasm in certain teams. Not every team. But in that game, look, there's loads and loads of talking points from that game, and I'm going to try and run through them all. For me, Bruno got man of the match. I think that's pretty fair. I think Bruno inside that midfield setup today, he looked far more balanced. I thought Casemiro looked like he hadn't played a game of football since November. I think it will take him time. It would just take him time. He's just looked at just not that good all season, really. But I still think it's the most balanced midfield setup. Really nice goal from Bruno. And I just think positionally, he was in a far better spot more often in that game. It wasn't like chasing the ball out of position, out of possession. Not as much anyway. And then if you're looking at sort of other positives from this game, you're definitely going to be looking towards Kobbie Mainoo getting his first goal for Manchester United. I've been saying it so many times, but Kobbie Mainoo is not a number 6. Kobbie Mainoo is something far more than just a number 6 who's going to sit in front of the defence, sweep the defence, and win the ball back and pass it off to somebody else. He has so much more creativity than that. He is a number 6, number 8 hybrid. He has the quality going forward. And I tell you what, Garnacho is 19, Mainoo is 18. They both won the FA Youth Cup together last year, and they're both established, I would say now, Manchester United first-team players. It's exciting to think about what's going to happen in the future. I know there's not too much excitement you can take from beating a team who is 84th in the English Football League. Well, not a league, but it's in their ranking. I think they are. God knows where they are in League 2. But probably my biggest positive from that match was always going to be that starting 11. Ten Hag's going to put out his strongest team in every single game between now and the end of the season. That's what's going to happen. And Martinez looked like Martinez. Oh, it's only Newport. But it wasn't just that. We're talking about the passes that he even attempts that no one else does, let alone actually pulling them off. That little spin and ball over the top, I think it was for Garnacho in the first half. I love the bloke. I really do. And having him back in this team, look, we actually saw certain patterns there today. Now, again, I know it's only Newport. Let's see if we do it against Wolves, all right? But what we did often in that game, whether it was Antony, whether it was Garnacho, we were looking for the cutbacks. And it created 2 goals in the first 15 minutes and three big chances, including those 2 goals. Cutbacks are simple. If you just have runners towards the edge of the box, like Mainoo, if you've got players who are looking for them, like Garnacho and Antony, and I tell you what, right, something that I really want to speak about from that game, Hojlund got his goal at the end. Do you know how many shots Hojlund had in that game? He had 1. That shot at the end. But Hojlund was always in the right position. Hojlund was, his off-the-ball work rate is there. His positioning is there. But my word, those players are not finding him. Garnacho and Antony did not find him once. And as I said, I'm sitting here praising the cutbacks. It's almost like it's a slight style issue, really, because Hojlund doesn't particularly want the cutbacks, does he? He wants to be running forward, getting a whipped cross in, and him getting a toe on it. That's what he's kind of used to naturally. That's how he played at Atalanta. And that's how I think he scored like 40% of his goals for Atalanta. Runs into the box. Nice instinctive finishing. If we're going to be playing cutbacks more, he's going to have to sort of drop back into that drift off the centre-back into the space instead of trying to get in front of the centre-back. That's just something I'm kind of thinking of. But we'll see. Good goal from him. I think that's 3 goals in 4 games? Something like that. He's finding the back of the net, and he's not getting many opportunities. So that in itself is a positive. I'll tell you what was another positive. Just as much, really, maybe not just as much as Martinez returning, but Shaw and Martinez both looked good. I thought Casemiro looked very rusty by comparison. Yeah, we'll speak about Casemiro a little bit more in tomorrow's live show. But Luke Shaw and Martinez are going to make such a difference down that side. United actually having two proper fullbacks there today. But I have to I have to go back to this. Man, we made hard work of that. Fair play, Newport. Coming from 2-0 down. The first one was an absolute worldie. They got a deflection. It was a worldie hit anyway. Fair enough. And that second goal, the equaliser, was almost a goal I was explaining that Hojlund loves to score. Whipped in cross, him getting his toe on it. And they were good for it. But at least we came back. At least. Who have we got in the next round, by the way? It's Forest or Bristol City. I think it's those two. Who would you rather have? Or maybe the draw's already done. I don't actually realise. Bayender, of course, made his debut there today. I don't think he did anything outstanding, and I don't think he did anything particularly wrong. I wouldn't say he was at fault for the first goal. It was a deflection and went over. You could try and say that he maybe needs to spread his body better for but I don't think that would be very unfair. I don't think he really did much wrong. Yeah, it was his debut. That's pretty much all you're going to say from it. Now, what do you reckon Dave Brailsford's thinking when he's sitting there watching Manchester United go from 2-0 up against Newport in a game where they and it's not the killer instinct. I don't know what to call it. I suppose it is. It's that lack of killing off a game. The third goal would have made all the difference. When you're 3-0 up, that's when you can start taking players off in the 60th minute because you're confident and comfortable and safe. And United just didn't give themselves the luxury of that today, when we absolutely should have. Early goal against Spurs. We didn't take a grasp of that game. Spurs got into it. We lost the lead twice. 2-0 up against Newport. Dave Brailsford's in the crowd watching on. And Man United cannot get that third goal. I think it was Garnacho who should have squared it when he... Is that when he hit the bar? Or I think that was another opportunity. In the first 20-25 minutes, it could have and should have been 3-0. But if we're trying to take positives from this game going forward, there were no injuries for Erik Ten Hag. We scored 4 goals. Mainoo, love the guy. But I think the biggest plus was not just the return of Lisandro Martinez, but he looked like Lisandro Martinez. He looked a little bit sharp. Again, I know it's only Newport. I'm not taking too much into that camp. I'm just physically looking at how he's playing. He lacked that. Just, I don't know whether it's not an X factor, but he just, when he played at the start of the season, when we now know that he was playing still with an injured metatarsal, Martinez just wasn't quite there. His passing range there today, his confidence with the ball at his feet, we've missed it. We've not been able to replace it inside this squad. It's ridiculous how reliant we are on him to bring that presence into the team. But him and Shaw as a combination, if they can stay fit between now and the end of the season, is going to hopefully help United play significantly better from now on. That game against Newport should have been a fight like Tranmere a couple of years ago. What was that like? I think it was 6-0. That's what that game should have been there today. And we had the ability to do it. What do you reckon about Antony's performance? He got a goal and he got an assist. So we got the end product there today. I don't know. I saw it as an indifferent performance. I don't know with Antony. I really don't. I think I've kind of I haven't checked out with Antony. But I'm going to need convincing. I don't think that there is going to convince me to change my mind on where I think Antony is going in terms of his Manchester United career. But we'll see. You can let me know what you think in the comments below. Who was your man of the match? I think Bruno is a fair one to give it to. I liked the midfield setup. I liked the fact that Martinez and Shaw are back. I didn't like the fact that United couldn't kill off Newport County. And that was far harder than it needed to be. But a win is a win. And we're into the next round of the FA Cup. And next up, I believe, is Wolves.